My name is Alden Johnson, and I was assistant pastor here from June of 1964 through June of 1967. It was 1964. Our country was in ferment. The first student protests about American involvement in Vietnam were starting in 1964. President Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act. And then there was a young adults group meeting on Sunday evenings. And from this group emerged the idea of having a coffee house in the neighborhood.
Coffee houses were becoming kind of cool. And in the general population, they were popular. It was an era of folk singers. And you could, have a coffee house and a reasonably inexpensive venue to have folk singers and so forth. So I think coffee houses became popular. I think some people thought it was a real good chance for one-on-one evangelism in the neighborhood. Others thought it would be a place to promote the arts, drama, folk singing, whatever. Other just to let the community know that we're here, because we can open the church doors wide, but no one comes in. But if we go out and have a neutral environment, they may feel welcome to come and say hello to us.
So on May 1st, 1965, the association took possession of 5203 North Kimball, just a couple blocks away from the church here. Tom Prairie obtained some bricks from a burnt-out church that he was working on as an architect, brought them over here, put them in the front window to symbolize the name, the Broken Wall, of course.
I helped in the initial stage do some construction work, do the wiring for the lighting and the ceiling. I worked as a volunteer, I think, one night a week. I think it was Sunday night, which was kind of a quiet night. Then, of course, on our Tuesday nights were usually a programming night. We'd have an event, and we'd have a speaker or entertainer or something like that, where just people would just flock in sometimes in droves. Free speech was one of the tenets, that it was a place where free speech would take place. And we tackled all kinds of subjects, political stuff, human sexuality, just a lot of, and they were discussed in a fairly courteous manner. Everyone respected each other's viewpoint, even though they disagreed.
A contest was held to name this coffee house. And the Broken Wall was suggested by Richard Carlson.
Oh, the name, that says a lot in itself. The name, Broken Wall, is taken from Ephesians, 2nd chapter of Ephesians, where Paul is talking about Christ on the cross breaking down the wall, the barrier wall between Jew and Gentile, and in a larger sense between God and people too. It was unique to its time. It was the right thing to do at the time. It really filled the need. And as I said before, you probably couldn't do it today. There's just too much polarization in our society. And I think you have to give a very balanced appraisal of it. I think in many ways it was very successful, because it connected us with a lot of people in the neighborhood we would not have ever had a connection with. They found, they really found North Park Church was a place they could trust. It was a good people here. And so that was very, very positive.
For Christ is our peace. In his flesh, he has made both groups into one and has broken down the dividing wall. That is, the hostility between us.
So I am Natalie Swanson, and I was youth intern at North Park Covenant. So I started volunteering with junior high ministry in the fall of 2012, and then was an intern through the spring of 2016. We had like neighborhood kids who knew that we had a gym, and once the weather got colder, wanted to come in and play. So we got to this threshold where you're like, either the door has to stay locked or we need to figure out how to staff this. And to me, it felt hard to keep the church doors locked, right? And so you're like, great, let's just like, we have kids that want to be here. Like, that's an awesome opportunity, right? And so we brought that to the church and kind of left it with the church to say, these kids want to come and play here. Can we have staff to do this? The deal was like, if you come and you play basketball, like we had Wednesday night gather dinner, so they would stay and do dinner with us. And then they would stay for a youth group. That was like, you can come and play and we'll continue to play games, but like, we want you to be a part of this. Youth group looks really different when you have 15 boys from the neighborhood who like don't know anything about Jesus, or about like what we're trying to do here. It changes the dynamic for sure. And it was just this really beautiful picture of like North Park Covenant, who like loves the liturgy and the sacraments and these like pillars that are the church along like in the city, like serving the community. Like bringing those two things together is sometimes messy, but so beautiful. To say, what does it look like to actually be a part of the North Park neighborhood, I think was a really beautiful choice that the church made, right? And so like part of Open Gym was saying like, yeah, Wednesday night dinner looks really different with these kids here. I think like for North Park Covenant, like moving forward to consider what those yeses are. I had a really small hand in Open Gym continued after I was gone, and I think that there was maybe even more church buy-in after I left. So it's been cool to hear stories afterwards of people that I know and love from North Park Covenant saying like, oh yeah, this is a real thing that I can actually be committed to.
So I am Libby Piotrowski. I am one of the co-pastors here at North Park Covenant Church, and I've been on staff for about 16 years.
My name is Indigo Berg, and I'm part of North Park Covenant Church.
So Indigo, we're here to talk about Vacation Bible School. And because I've been on staff for so long, I think I've done 17 different Vacation Bible Schools. Sometimes with kids that like a group of kids that are like 40, all the way up to 120. When we did, when we were in the midst of COVID, we still did Vacation Bible School. Do you remember that? And it was all on screen, right? We pre-recorded things and then we showed everybody. How long have you been a part of Vacation Bible School?
I've been part of it for about 6 years.
6 years. You're 12 now.
Yes.
You started as a Vacation Bible School attendee.
Yeah.
And now you have been volunteering. What are your favorite things about Vacation Bible School?
I like actually volunteering because I get to, play with the kids when I'm helping them out with stuff.
All right. So you like being a leader?
Yes.
Yeah. So during Bible school, we have Bible story and we have snacks and we have games and we have crafts. Sometimes there's another piece like a video or something like that. Do you have a favorite there?
I like games.
You like games?
Games are fun.
All right.
The reactions.
I think my favorite part of Vacation Bible School is that we have a lot of kids who come to Vacation Bible School as little kids and they participate and they're a part of it and they come back every summer and then they get to 6th grade and they want to volunteer. And they volunteer from 6th grade through high school until they go away to school. That is my favorite part because I get to develop relationships with those kids. And I know that they're back to help because they love Vacation Bible School, right?
Yep.
Do you have like a favorite memory or a story from Bible school?
Yeah, actually last year at games when we were playing So we first started playing with the jello feet, trying to get the fish with our feet. And everyone was like, oh, it's gross. And some were like, we don't want to do it. And then they look like, oh, that's gross. And then they start trying to do it. And then we had a game where we had 2 lines and we had to jump over it. And the farthest no one was making it, and I jumped. I made it, but I slipped and I landed straight on my back after I made it. Everyone was laughing. I'm running. I was brushing myself off after I jumped straight in the mud on my back. Like, let's do it again. And they're like, you want to do it again? I thought you said you didn't want to do it. He's like, well, I want to see you fall again. Well, that was fun.
The price we pay to entertain.
My name is Ruth Ann Warner, and I was the coordinator for the North Park tutoring program from the fall of 2011 through the spring of 2022. Peterson School, an elementary K through 12 school just north of the church, contacted the church and said, we have some kids who could use some extra help. Would your church be interested in hosting something like that? And it caught the attention of, I think, teachers in our congregation. And the one who is best known as getting it all started was Joe Catter, who's a teacher and very instrumental in working it out. So it's pretty much from the beginning been a really nice partnership between Peterson School and the university. University provides lots of the tutors, and then some additional tutors come from the church or neighborhood, and then also the church provides the space and a very small budget. When I was nearing retirement after many years as a chaplain, I thought, I've got time, there's something I could volunteer for. And many years ago, when I was at North Park University, I was a math major, but I thought I could probably dust off those math skills. And I'd see notices in the bulletin every fall looking for tutors. So I thought, yeah, I think I can do that. And it was being run at that time by Tom McCullough, whose wife Judy was an interim pastor. And so I was a tutor for a year with him as the coordinator. And then he asked if I'd be a coordinator. And it's pretty hard to say no to Tom. He was pretty compelling. So I said, yeah, I've got some organizational skills. Maybe I can help out in that way too. I look back, and in the about 12 years since I got involved, the highest numbers were 20 kids in the afternoon and another 8 in the evening. So there are 2 sessions. The afternoon is the earlier grades, and then the evening session was the kids a little bit older, more like middle school. Yeah, we primarily had good materials, reading, lots and lots of books, all different levels, and just helping the kids with vocabulary, grammar, just widening their worlds, and then help with math at different levels. The problem was you got to like middle school math, and it was a mystery to most of us. Even the college tutors thought, I don't know, I didn't learn math like that. So we didn't make promises about how good we were as a math tutor institution. But so many of it was the really elementary kids, first, second, third graders, getting used to being in school, getting used to settling down and doing their work, and but cute, adorable, and really varied, just reflecting the neighborhood. We had a set of twins one year, and they're both first grade, and they were lively. They just had so much trouble settling, and they would get each other going too. So you had to assign them to tutors in opposite ends of the room so that they didn't see each other and get excited about doing something together. But one of them had Wilma Cruz, a grandma in our congregation, and she discovered how much she did like to be read to, or to read a book together. If it was a simple book and he could read some of the sentences. And she would just put her arm around him, and he'd kind of lean up against her, and he just loved to be read to. Yeah. But that 1 hour or hour and a half on Mondays, he could be with someone who really focused on him and really cared about him in an obvious way. Yeah, I just think that I would hear from tutoring parents and from personnel at Peterson what a good image in the neighborhood the church had. they appreciate the church. They appreciate all the different programs that the church has done, and it's a good relationship.
Relationship.